A black mother attends a play, Death and the Maiden. In this play, the war has ended, the regime has fallen, the country is inching its way to forgiveness. In the play, a woman confronts the man who had tortured her under the previous regime. The man had tortured her with one piece of music playing in the background, a quartet by Franz Schubert called Death and the Maiden, 2 violins, a viola, and a cello. A black mother hears his music and remembers when she too played viola. She imagines the quartet playing Death and the Maiden, and the musicians are all gorgeously black, clothed elegantly in the finest threads, a garish counterpoint to the grief in their eyes. On stage, a woman with a gun confronts her torturer. The torturer is bound to a chair, gagged until he completes his confession. This story feels familiar. A black mother attends a play 1 year after her son's funeral. In the play, the war has ended. In her life, the war offers no end. In the play, the regime has fallen. In her life, every uniform and badge are their own regime. In the play, the torturer is bound to a chair. In her life, the killer of her son is breathing in a uniform somewhere too close. She cannot tear her eyes from the onstage gun. In the play, the black mother's mind has usurped the scripts. The play is now her play. She is wielding the gun on stage. The man is bound in the chair, the familiar uniform blue. She asks him why he murdered her son. He laughs through his gag. Then the return. The quartet's music returns. Death and the Maiden, she is playing it now. Her viola, bearing the ancient smell of wood that wept its way across an ocean, wept its way through centuries of institutional horror, forever shifting its shape. A black mother is aiming a gun at a killer while listening to music she is playing herself. How can she be in 2 places at once? She wonders before answering herself. The moment you lose your child, every waking moment is 2 places at once. Your footprints haunt their own footprints. Your laughter echoes itself. Your tears roll down your cheeks and throat. Hadn't she merely gone to see a play? Didn't she go to the theater to forget? How had the stage abridged her grief into madness? The end of the script is not the end. The performers go home. The mother floats to what used to be home. The performers carefully lay their instruments down. The mother simply lies down. The quartet's music never ends. All 4 instruments now fray her rest, each played by a different version of her son. First violin, the version of him that stayed home that night. Second violin, the version of him that went out then came home. Cello, the version that had time to call and say I love you before the bullet. Viola, the version that looked his killer in the eye, declared, "You's a heretic, me and mine, we gods."